Nibali sits on the wheel of the leader as well. Michael Matthews still in here, Sean. Having a really good start to his season this week.
Yes, and we can see his teammate there who was in the general classification, Tish Benoot. And Sunweb, you know, we see last year they had a difficult season, but you know, they're really putting up performances in this race. They've been very active in the race, and you know, today this is a big performance by Søren Kragh Andersen. But you'd question it, you know, going out there on your own against a team of the Kona Quickstep who are already in motion and doing the work there. It was always going to be a really difficult one for him to see to get enough of an advantage. And if he waited, the way he's been riding over the last number of kilometres, I feel that he could follow the best man here pretty much in this final. But you know, he went for the long one, played his card that way, and unfortunately, it's not going to work out for him.
Yep, Tish Benoot maybe to follow Alaphilippe if something manages to stay together. Michael Matthews is there as well. They have options as the leader's grown to 20 seconds again. Just over 100 metres between Søren Kragh and the peloton. Still led by Bob Jungels. Behind him's Zdeněk Štýbar. And here we go, movement, and it's the shot. Vincenzo Nibali on the attack. And we knew he'd come here to test himself. He's taking Tish Benoot with him. So Vincenzo Nibali looking for success. Sergio Higuita follows and thinks about it. No reaction yet from the yellow jersey. And that is destroying the group behind. So Bob Jungels is done. Alaphilippe's left on his own as well. That's Zdeněk Štýbar gone. This could change the complexity of the final 14 kilometres rather quickly. We're down to just the leaders almost.
Yes, well, it is getting very much a battle between the leaders, and you know, Benoot is a little bit further down there, 111, so there's a little bit of a breathing space. But again, you know, you have to be careful now who tries to come across the gap, and it's Bora Hansgrohe who are starting to you know, set the pace, and they have to, because you know, with Nibali and Benoot, they're going to really push on here, so they have to, you know, just keep them in check here on this climb.
What a ride this is from Michael Matthews, still there amongst the best behind following. We know his teammates are both up the road, and all he has to do is follow here, but the pace is not easy. Søren Kragh with 19 seconds on the yellow jersey. We know there's a group in the middle. It's Vincenzo Nibali and Tish Benoot on his wheel. Felix Grossschartner is giving all to try and pull back. Then it's Sergio Higuita in the white. After that, Max Schachmann. Then Michael Matthews. And Julien Alaphilippe is slipping and sliding. They've worked all day long here of the Koenig Quickstep. Let's have a look how far he is down the group. I think he's lost quite a few positions there. This is the leader, 19 seconds. Søren Kragh coming towards the top of this climb. But remember, we've still that very short 1.5 kilometre climb to go to that intermediate sprint point. Tish Benoot now is actively working. Tish Benoot is riding. And behind, there's a bit of a slow-up. So who takes it on here? Has to be Bora Hansgrohe. So Søren Kragh, Tish Benoot, Vincenzo Nibali. What a situation developing here. Now who's pulling? It's Jungels who's come back to pull some more. Pino's still in the group as well. Top of the climb just there, right at the top of your picture. And now Nibali. Nibali starting to struggle a little. Benoot has reached his teammate, and Vincenzo Nibali unable to stick with Tish Benoot. That's a turn up for the books. Nibali it was who started the party.
Yes, and we can see Benoot, you know, he's looking strong here and come across to his teammates, and you know, he's going to try and keep on pushing here. But Nibali, he did try, and that's the rider he is. He just...
Alaphilippe, sorry Sean, but Alaphilippe, we wondered where he'd gone to. It was one more turn from Bob Jungels, and Julien Alaphilippe sets off in search of Vincenzo Nibali and co. How far down are they? Nibali in a second group here. Higuita's on his wheel. That's Grossschartner done. And we're down to Max Schachmann to fend for himself for the final 13 kilometres. This is the first real test of his leadership.
Yes, well, he is just following Higuita, and we can see there Philippe, who just puts in that dig there, and we can see Quintana also very much up in the front here, but not as explosive as we would see from Anela Philippe. And the question we've been asking all through this race, I don't think he's his best shape yet, but he's going to blow up this group, and we can see he's blown a lot of riders out the rear.
Michael Matthews still in that group. That is one of the rides of the week, you have to say. GC contenders, climbers, plus Michael Matthews still in there. And Søren Kragh, hat off to him, as Benoit is up the road on his own. First it was Niki Asant, then it was Søren Kragh, it's now Tish Benoit. Sunweb are throwing everything at stage 6 of Paris-Nice. 22 seconds for Benoit. He followed an attack by Vincenzo Nibali. Nibali is about to be retaken by the yellow jersey Max Schachmann, and those still at the front. They include Guillaume Martin, Nairo Quintana, Sergio Higuita, Thibaut Pinot, and Julien Alaphilippe, who's having a second go. Headwind here though, shakes his head. 19 seconds up the road to Tish Benoit. Tish Benoit, by the way, started the day over a minute back, so no immediate danger to the yellow jersey of Max Schachmann, who has no teammates left here. Alaphilippe wants some cooperation. Quintana denies it. Now we've got to move. It looks like Mollard. Rudy Mollard, stage winner in Paris-Nice just a couple of years ago. Not too far from down here, and by the way, this is his home region. Guillaume Martin's going with him. Well, we've been a little critical of Martin this week. Big money move to Cofidis. Hasn't really done anything. He's at 6 minutes and 16 seconds. Is today his day? Alaphilippe goes again. Problems this time for Søren Kragh, that is, after he'd been swallowed up. And Max Schachmann trying to fight to keep his yellow jersey. Almost every man for himself here. 21 seconds still, though, for Tish Benoit. 11.5 kilometres to go. Bit of descent to come now, and then there's that short, sharp climb again before the descent to the finish.
Yes. The sharp one is going to be a real leg breaker here, and we can see Bob Jungels come back in again, and it's all just happening here in this group. We can see Alaphilippe, he wants a lot of the GC men to contribute here, but they're just waiting, watching each other. I think everybody is thinking of that real steep one. If we went through with the intermediate checkpoint, this is going to be the test. And in the meantime, Tish Benoit is pushing on. 19 seconds, he's riding really strong, because when you ride for a bit and then you slow down, every time you lose that 2 or 3 seconds, it's just he is time trialing out in front. But again, still 10.8 to go here, and when he gets to that real steep section, when you have to ride pretty much 100%, it just hits you, and the legs really start to suffer when you hit the steep sections.
Well, luckily for Schachmann, Groschartner is back in. He's getting himself up the road, as we see what looks to be Calmerjan, I think, pushing on behind. He's with Michael Matthews. This is Bob Jungels and Felix Groschartner. 10 kilometres to go in the meantime for Tish Benoit. You would imagine that Kragh, if he's got anything left, Matthews will just be trying to disrupt this chase a bit, won't they?
Well, I think Matthews will just follow, and he'll be hoping that he'll be able to just hang in there, get over the climbs, and if he get over the next one, well then if it comes back together, he is always a great chance in the sprint. And we've seen Matthews in the past in this Paris-Nice a number of years ago. He was leader, he hung on very well until the very final, the big mountain on the penultimate stage, so he's capable of getting over this sort of terrain.
Now, we were wondering then if he was going to be the new Sean Kelly in Paris-Nice. We were watching him, and there were real questions being asked, weren't there? Could he be that sort of rider, good in the sprints, hanging on the climbs? As you say, the climbs nowadays perhaps a little bit too tough for Michael Matthews, but Tell you what, he is a fantastically gifted all-round rider.
Yes, well, he is a huge talent, and he get over the very lumpy terrain. And unfortunately, Paris-Nice has definitely got much difficult in the past number of years. Like, they throw in these very difficult mountains, like we have tomorrow. Like, that is a huge one for this time of year. It's a big ask for a lot of the riders that are not at 100%.
Matthews just chasing on with Martin. This now is Alaphilippe. Higuita comes across. A lot of this stop-start stuff you were talking about. And there's Matthews, who's just going to try and disrupt things if he can. Now this looks like Quintana. Nairo Quintana, the man in form. 2 stage races before today. 2 stage race wins in France. But 22 seconds up the road. Leader on the day, Tish Benoot. Never won a race in France. There's Groschartner and Jungels. Second group on the road. No time gap to these guys. 21 seconds to this group where the yellow jersey lies. Tish Benoot has never taken anything from a World Tour stage race. Of course, he did win Strade Bianche, which was his first professional win 2 years ago. The only other stage he's taken in a stage race was in Denmark last year. As we're looking at Nibali. Nibali having another go from that group. On the road there with Fabien Doubet, who's 21st at 2 minutes and 15 down. Rides for Circus Wanty. Doesn't look to be too much organisation behind. Gap's growing. 25 seconds for Tish Benoot. It's a lot of pulling, quite a bit of stop-start here. The man pulling at the front is Tanil Kangat now. Working for this man in the white jersey, Sergio Higuita. 27 seconds back to the peloton. The 2 chasers, Groschartner and Jungels, at 17. Higuita may be seeing this as a good opportunity to get some time back, stage win, before tomorrow. It's 1 minute and 6 down. He's certainly a possible winner of Paris-Nice, even if we have the mountain stage, or say, especially if we have the mountain stage tomorrow. Bob Jungels has already done quite a bit of work for his team today. What's left in the tank in the final 6 kilometres. 34 seconds now to this group. Situation changing quite quickly.
Yes, it's quite a good advantage here for our lone leader out front, and we can see there, those riders just going to the front, pushing on a bit, then it slows down, and that's the reason that this advantage is ticking out a bit. But he's putting in a big ride as well. Like, he's the rider on form. We have seen him already in this race, and we know he's a man of the beginning of season, but in this sort of stage outs, we haven't seen him in this position before. He's more of a one-day man. When he was with Lotto, he concentrated on the semi-classics, but he is putting up a big performance this Paris-Nice, and the ride he's doing here, that tells that he's in top shape.
Tish Benoot has 32 seconds on the group you just saw on the screen. He has 5 kilometres still to ride. 1.5 of those is very sharply uphill. 8.5% of an average gradient to take 3 bonus seconds and then drop down very quickly to the finish. It's all going to be played out on this next climb. 35 seconds back here. It was 17 seconds the last time we checked when we saw the gap to Jungels and Groschartner. Tish Benoot's usual style, that arched back. Followed around 17 to 18 seconds back by Bob Jungels, the Luxembourg national champion here. And Groschartner, who's policing things and thinking about his overall leader.
Yes, thinking about his leader, and he's in a good position as well, of course. You know, he's in the general classification, and we can see EF team, they are at the chase at the moment.
Four kilometres to go, the final climb of the day. An intermediate sprint at the top here for Tish Benoot, being chased down around 18 seconds back by Bob Jongels and Felix Großschartner. Jongels out of the game in the general classification. Großschartner very much in it, but also working with the leader, Max Schachmann, who is behind at 35 seconds. And Sergio Higuita looks as though he's going to challenge himself. Onto the climb they come. Higuita wants to do something here, wants to take time back, and this is where Schachmann's going to have to react.
Yes, he's going to have to react, and we can see Higuita is taking it up early. Immediately when it just comes to the uphill, he goes for it, and he can do this sort of climb, you know, in a full-on sprint all the way, because he's a pure climber, lightweight guy, and it's going to be interesting, like, who is going to be able to try and follow him. I think they will just have to try and limit their time loss to him here. I'd be surprised if anybody can stay in his wheel on this steep section.
Sorgues at the back of the main favourites. So Schachmann is trying to hold on here. It's Higuita who's attacked, Nibali on his wheel, Alaphilippe was there, Quintana was also there. And here is the leader Benoot, still saying 35 seconds to the yellow jersey. How far do these guys? The last check was 18 seconds. Oh, well, it's almost 35 seconds. Großschartner and Jongels behind. And Großschartner now, alongside that yellow jersey. 32 seconds. It's looking very, very good, this for Benoot at the moment, Sean.
Yes, it is looking real good, because when he gets over this one, unless we can, you know, see somebody out of the peloton there of the favourites, the men leading in the general classification, unless they can really push on. But we can see Higuita here, you know, he tried, but not as explosive as I was expecting. I thought he would really, you know, go for it right from the beginning. He has to do that if he's going to pull back some time here. So not as explosive as we would expect a little climber from Colombia to be. But again, this race, you know, he's out there working very hard in the windy conditions, the wet days, all of that has taken its toll on the riders.
It's been a tiring week, physically and mentally. Tish Benoot is nearing the end of it in fantastic form, looking for only victory number 3 of his career, and that's quite a stat, really. You consider his talent. Think of all the races he's been at the pointy end of. Jongels not really going anywhere, is he, that? Of course, he has Alaphilippe behind, let's not forget. Coming towards the top of this climb, though, now. And there it is. 3 bonus seconds to Benoot. And if he keeps this sort of gap, then there's a real chance that he's in the game for the podium tomorrow as well. 3 bonus seconds for Tish Benoot. 29 seconds of a lead. He began the day at 1 minute and 11 seconds from Max Schachmann. Here's Jongels. Behind him, Felix Großschartner's riding to try and limit the gap here and keep Max Schachmann in the lead. Higuita looks like he's going to have another go. And just behind there, Higuita does have another go. Looks behind, not doing too much damage. It's a good reaction so far from Max Schachmann, though.
Yes, very, very good riding by Schachmann. We can see when he needs to follow, he is there and he's in the position and controlling it quite well. And as we can see here, Higuita just gets back to Jongels, but Schachmann looking okay for the moment.
Higuita taking 1 bonus second there as well. Now 1 minute and 5 seconds from Max Schachmann. When it comes to that big mountain tomorrow, if the stage is run, we will know that every second will count. A long effort that will favour Higuita on paper. But as Sean was saying, it's been such a hard week. Might be a bit of a leveller. So Tish Benoot riding away as it stands to a stage win. What's the gap going to be to everybody else? This has been quite a performance, a team performance from Sunweb today.
Yes, well, impressive performance, and you know they have been good in this race already, but today very impressive. You know, a number of riders, you know, just going out there and really making the race difficult, putting it up to a lot of the other teams. That is nice to see, and just that a number of riders, you know, in really good shape for a team that maybe had a disappointing last year. Remember Tom Dumoulin, Giro, all of that had went on, and yes, definitely back. Morale is big in the team, and the condition with riders is really excellent.
We've seen Case Ball going well in the sprints, haven't we, too? The other young sprint, Alberto Dainese, winning down under. The future is looking very bright suddenly for Sunweb. 27 seconds for Tish Benoot, rider from Ghent in Flanders. Just got to stay on his bike here. Just over a kilometre to go. A look behind, making sure he stays upright as the time gap seems to be coming down a little. 28 seconds now, just corrects itself. 1 kilometre to go, Flamme Rouge for Tish Benoot. Technical finale, this. And it's been such an entertaining stage again to Abt. On a day where we've had bad news with the cancellation or postponement of the Giro d'Italia. Questions marks over this race since the stage started today. New measures announced by the French government. But Tish Benoot, who's been out there completing a three-pronged attack from Team Sunweb, is all ready to finish it off. Niki Assad set the ball rolling. Søren Kragh went out to surprise the leader. And now Tish Benoot is going to finish the job. Uphill to the line, he has the line in sight. 400 metres to go. Oh no! Oh no! Yet more drama. And Max Schachmann now has a fight on his hand to keep the yellow jersey. Something's happened there. Some sort of incident. And this race could be turned on its head. Tish Benoot peddling for his life here, and he'll be getting shouted at to get every single second he can. It's already been a superb performance. Sunweb with the time trial win the other day, and then new signing, repaying the face shown in them. It's a first win in Sunweb colours for Tish Benoot. He takes stage 6 of Paris-Nice. Now, count back to these riders. What is the difference? Michael Matthews looking to make it a 1-2 if he can, and out he goes. There is Matthews. Sergio Higuita's going to follow him, but we know that behind the yellow jersey's lost more time. It is a Sunweb 1-2. What a performance. And he takes a few more bonus seconds away from Higuita, who only ends up with 4. Quintana's now across the line, and the time ticks back to the yellow jersey. Whatever happened on that descent, it's going to make him even more nervous for tomorrow. 39 seconds, 40 seconds. He'll keep the yellow jersey, but his lead will be greatly reduced.
Yes, well, losing roughly 20 seconds plus minus to Higuita there, and we could see it looked like that he dropped his chain. We could see when he was getting back to moving again, looked like he had a problem with his chain, came off the front big chain ring, and yeah, that's a costly one for him, because tomorrow he need all the advantage going into this difficult mountain stage, and that is a real disappointing one for our race leader Schachmann.
High drama in Paris-Nice. Max Schachmann still leads the race, but if we are to go to La Colmiane, he is going to be severely tested. A 22-second margin of victory over his team.
Tish très en forme depuis le début de cette semaine sur Paris-Nice. Dimanche dernier, ça doit être une satisfaction immense d'enfin gagner cette étape sur Paris-Nice.
Ouais, c'est vraiment chouette avec les jambes que j'avais, c'était un peu dommage que la course peut pas venir à Nice, mais c'est comme important d'aussi garder au monde, tu vois. Et oui, je suis content que je peux gagner.
I'm really happy that I could win in front of those watching.
Pour continuer comme ça, ouais.
And I want to carry on like that.
Performance incroyable de votre part, mais aussi de l'équipe Sunweb avec Søren Kragh Andersen, avec Michael Matthews qui fait deuxième, et donc vous, un collectif incroyable.
Oui, déjà toute la semaine, l'atmosphère dans l'équipe est vraiment bonne. Tout le monde est au niveau.
The atmosphere in the team has been fantastic.
Avec Niki Assad devant.
Really good.
Alors tous les coéquipiers ont un
part. All the teammates have worked hard for everybody else.
Dans la victoire aujourd'hui, c'est vraiment chouette.
And it's nice to give them a win today.
Deuxième victoire cette semaine avec Sorgues dans le
And it's good to have a second victory this week after Sorgues did it the other
En
day.
général, vous êtes à peu près à 1 minute du leader de l'épreuve, Max
For the
Verstappen.
GC,
Qu'est-ce qu'on peut espérer de vous pour l'étape de demain qui s'achève à la Colmienne en montagne?
Je sais pas, on va voir demain.
I don't know what we're going to see tomorrow.
Ce soir, je pense, mais d'abord, je vais un peu.
But firstly,
comment dire?
I'm going to how do you say it?
De la victoire.
Enjoy the
Quick word in
victory.
English. A massive satisfaction for you to win not only a stage on Paris-Nice, but a hell of a stage.
Yeah, it was a really hard day. Full gas from the finish, from the start. Sorry. Quick step immediately started to pull behind, and I knew it was a good situation for me. I had really good legs, and I like the days where you have to push all day. And today was a day like this, so we came in a really good situation. I was in the counter-attack with Nibali, and there I felt I still had something left, so I went full to Sorgues alone, and then it was only 10-15k to the finish, I think.
Perfect day for you, perfect day for the team, for Sunweb.
Yeah. I'm really happy to give a victory to them now. We did a really good preparation with really nice team camps. A lot of effort we put in the team we have here, the Classics team. Unfortunately, we cannot ride the Classics this year, but I'm sure in the future we will still achieve some nice things here.
Thanks a lot, thanks. Merci.
Lovely listening to Tish Pinot. Genuinely delighted. And it sounds, you mentioned the teamwork, sounds like they are a really good, close-knit unit.
Et donc toujours en tête, on sera dans quelques minutes le maillot jaune et blanc. Lead, le classement général à la marque STL, deuxième le vainqueur du jour, Tish Pinot. Pour la qualification, elle va être à 18 secondes. Je crois que c'est le meilleur jeu.